What is going on, everyone? I'm Sean James, and this is Kentucky, the mini truck state. We have had a huge week on YouTube. We hit 1,000 subscribers. I released the giveaway video. We've picked up 100 new subscribers just this week alone, which is absolutely blowing my mind. Thank you guys so much for the support. I know we're giving something away, so that helps a little bit, but I'm very, very happy with how the channel is doing right now. So thank you guys very much. I can't do it without you. But this week, we're just going to jump into the video, not a whole lot of setup to it. So as you know, we've been working on the front inner structure of the Mazda, of Kaydee's Mazda, trying to get the inner fenders kind of situated. We're watching Dave Chappelle. I think it's Dirthead Shed. We are going to get back into this front inner fenders. I've decided I don't like the way that this is coming out. I want to fill this in straight to there. That way we can get rid of all this open space down in the bottom. So we're going to do something that I've never done before. We're going to try and shape some metal. I've already been out here playing around a little bit, and I made a wood buck to basically form the metal. Oh, sorry, a little shaky there. To form the metal to match what we have there existing. So we have this piece of inner fender, which is what we use for what's on the truck now. I cut off this little piece to try and basically take a piece of MDF and get it, which there's little shavings there so you can't see it, but to get to fit that curve really, really closely. You can see that's really close. And so what I did is, if I can find the piece, I have set it down somewhere. Where did I set it? Dun, dun, dun. I probably should have been ready for this, right? I mean, we're doing a video. Why would I not be ready? Instead, I just kind of jumped in and got started. Ah, here it is. I found it. So we've got this piece right here. Turn the camera around. So basically, we just clamped it down and beat it to the buck to make it fit. And I've got to cut it for length, and I've got to widen it. This is just a scrap piece that we had. So this will come in here. Excuse me. We'll come in here and go straight back to the firewall and clean that up and cover up all that mess. Then we'll go on the inside and cut that stuff out and let this go past so we can weld it really well on the inside. And then I also took another scrap piece, if I could find it as well. Well, here we go. And found out the hole saw size I need to put the rubber grommet through the side panel. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole right there to let the wire come out, go through this little hole or through over here. We can put a grommet and put it through here, because those wires just come up and plug right into this. That's the only thing that comes through there. I've deleted the wires off here that I don't need. Like I said, this is just for the windshield wiper speed control and all that stuff, so no real big deal there. The driver's side is going to be a little more complicated, and I am purposely putting it off because I don't want to fight with it. So, but we're going to do it. I'm going to figure out how we can get around the brake booster and all this stuff. Some of this brake line is going to possibly have to be rebent a little bit, but we'll get there when we get there. I want to get this pedal side done first, but make sure and stick around to the end of the video or the middle of the video or sometime in the video, because we are giving that subwoofer away. I am going to close the way to enter by, well, you can enter all the way up till Friday, but Thursday night at 10 o'clock, I'm going to stop or go ahead and do the drawing. That way I have time to edit the video. And I'm going to make a post on Facebook saying that that's what the case is. So everybody should know. I'll actually do a post on YouTube as well to let everybody know. But man, to be at 1,100 after trying to get to 1,000 last week, absolutely mind-blowing. And thank you guys so much for doing that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's awesome. I know that giving stuff away is part of the reason it's going like that, but also, you know, that many people had to see it to join, and I've got a lot of really good comments. I've also had a question that we're going to go over here in a little bit from a subscriber, so I'll post that here in just a minute. We'll sit down and kind of talk about it. So he's wanting to know kind of how I'm able to get as much done as I do with the family and stuff, but we'll post a question, and we'll talk about it here in just a little bit, so stick around for that as well. Let's go ahead and get the scrap metal out of the floor. We'll get a measurement of what we need, and we'll get a piece cut, and we'll work on getting that stuff beat around where we want it. And then we can kind of work on figuring out how we're going to get this front end tidied up and maybe even do some welding this week. So we'll have to see. I'm really hoping we can get some progress this week. Throw this out of the way. I'd really like to be able, well, I mean, we're not gonna get it done this week, but I would really like to get it really close to where we can seam seal all this stuff, get stuff welded in, all that good stuff. You know, it's just, there's a lot of work that has to go into all this, but it's really starting to look really good, really clean, like I wanted. But again, that little spot at the top, the way it dives into the cab, I don't really like the way that looks. So we're gonna fix it, and we're gonna do some metal work. We're gonna figure it out, do a little bit of metal shaping. So let's follow along as we do that. One of the things I did, so I took 2 pieces of 3/4 inch MDF and I just screwed them together. Just pre-drilled the holes, screwed them together. And then I took the little piece of metal that I had and I put it on there, and I made a mark on the top where where the radius needed to be, and made a mark all the way across there. And then once I did that, I put it in the table saw, took just a little bit of a 45 off this corner. Then I took a power sander down here and really roughed it in. And honestly, I used a block sander with a piece of 80 grit to really get it to where I'm happy with the shape of it. And I think it matches the inner fender that we have really close enough to make it work. So the piece we need is only gonna be about 8 inches long by about 8 inches wide. But we'll go ahead and, I mean, we'll have to measure what that is. I think it might be 9 inches, but anyway, we can make it a little bit wider, and that way we can trim it to fit really, really well into the firewall and the inner fender area. So let's go ahead, get set up. We'll get that stuff cut out, and we'll actually do some fab work this week. Let's just jump into it. All right, so this is the piece I started using, but with the curve in it, I really didn't like the way that it was fitting up. So this is basically the right size of what we need. So we'll have to kind of measure around the bend, and that's right at about 9 1/8. So we'll go ahead and make ours about 10 inches. That way we have room to trim it, make it fit really good. And then it's basically 8 inches this way. So we'll go ahead and just get this drawn out, and we'll get it cut out. One of the things I want to make sure and do is get a good, nice square edge. That way we're not trying to fight straightness once we get it bent. And plus, this panel's been cut several times, so we'll go ahead and mark this 10 inches, and we should be able to get both pieces out of this one cut, because it's only 8 inches wide. Here's that. And I'm not sure if this should be thicker sheet metal or not. I think this is like 18 gauge or something like that. But since we have the inner fenders at the top already, I don't think we really need anything super, super thick for that. Let me go ahead and change this wheel out real quick because it's getting awful small. And I don't like fighting cut wheels. So I found a place here in Paducah where you can get them fairly cheap. I bought 50 last year for Christmas, and I'm still using them. I still have probably 20 left, so still in pretty good shape, which I've not been doing a whole lot. But anyway, let me get this cut out real quick, then we'll pick it right back up. All right, so the way that I'm doing this is I'm going to measure back an inch let's put it this way, so that end's got a little bit of scratches on it. We'll put that about 1 inch. Put that at about 1 inch. Then what I'm going to do is just put this block on top and then just clamp it down in place. And I'll adjust it a little bit better once we get ready to start actually beating on it. Let's go around to the front here. We'll get a better spot. So right now I'm just getting it set. I'm not trying to set it super, super tight. That way we can adjust it. So I want this lip to be 1 inch off both sides. And we are right there. And then I want this block to be in about the same spot on the curve. And we'll just tighten it down nice and tight so it cannot move. And then we'll just take this rubber hammer and you see I'm just kind of chasing the shape around as I beat on it. This other sawhorse is kind of in the way, but we'll be all right. Then we'll just kind of work it around. Like I said, I don't have any fancy tools. This isn't by any means going to be perfect, but it will be better than trying to bend it by hand. So, you know, as long as we're trying to learn something, I think we'll be okay. All right, now if we can just find our little piece here and see it actually matches up really close on both sides. So the dogs are barking at something outside. Probably the FedEx guy or Amazon. But as you can see, not too bad. And again, we put this up here and see how close that is. Really close. So it's definitely close enough for what we're doing. And if I wanted to, on the other one, I just held this here and kind of held it out a little bit and let it bounce off that buck and just beat that bottom back. Now we're just trying to get it straight. You can kind of see it has a little bit of a bend in it. So just trying to catch everything up where it's the same. That's actually pretty close. And again, I don't expect this to be perfect. I just expect it to be better than trying to do it by hand. So there's our first panel. Yeah. I mean, just for a wood buck and a rubber hammer, I can't be mad at it. So now we can take this and transfer some of the marks to where we need to get to fit the firewall. Again, I had this other one really close to fitting. I just didn't like the way it's curved because where it laid on the other one, it had a really weird transition, you couldn't get it flat. So that's why we're doing this panel. Now we can get it to fit the firewall and it'll come straight off and curve right with that fender. So that's what we want to do. We want to try and do better work than we did before. And so that's definitely what I'm trying to do, is do something a little bit different that I'm not used to get better. So I hope you guys take some of that advice and run with it. Get out of your comfort zone. Try something new. It won't kill you. All right. Now that we have this, like I said, we made it plenty wide, so we can definitely trim it. I'm going to use that other pattern and put on here and still mark it a little bit outside of what those marks are. That way we can trim it back closer, so I don't end up with these gaps like I did down here where I got a little excited. So let me get this transferred over off the other one, and we'll come back once we get that done. We'll pick it up. Pick it up. We're going to pick it back up. Picking it up. All right. As you can see, we have this trimmed down. And again, it's not going to be perfect because we want to get it as close as we can and just slowly work our way in there. Try and get you as close as I can so y'all can see. Oh no. There we go. All right, so there's a little bit of a curve in the inner fender right here, so we're trying to get that to fit it. You can see we can still come back. Probably in the back, we're pretty close. It's just the front corner. So we don't want to go taking too much off, but I think we could take probably like a 1/4 inch off this whole thing, and that'll really help it to suck in there. So, and like I said, you can see I'm not even cut to the line. So what we're going to do is just use our finger and come up here and roughly mark about a 1/4 inch without trying to cut ourselves. And again, we're going to cut inside that line so we can still see it when we're done. And then that way we can take the grinder, the flap wheel, and clean it up to get it to fit. All right, so as you can see again, if I turn you down, we're still hitting on this. And I think part of the reason is I made this about a 1/2 inch longer than the piece that was in there before. So we're definitely hitting farther up here than we were. But still, I think all we got to do is just clearance this little front corner out a little bit. The back feels like it could come in just a little as well. So we're just going to take a mark that. And again, we're just going to take a mark about the same thing. Come on the inside and just mark that edge. About that far, we're going to cut on the inside and leave the line. That way we know we're not going to cut it too far to start with. And as you can see, we're really close. Now that's a little different than what we had, which these are separate fenders, so they could be rolled just a little differently, but we can easily come back with a dolly this out and get it to fit better. It's definitely going to meet up there, and this might actually even get cut back so we don't have a hard body line right there to fix. So we may actually cut this back up and weld it to the top. And then as you can see back here in this back corner, we're going to put a little bit of a filler piece there where we made a little bit of a mistake, but that's okay. Once this gets put over where it goes, it's not that far, and we actually make this piece come down if we need to and fill that in. So, and I'm happy with how this is fitting. I'm going to take and trim a little bit more off this front corner so this can push back in, but honestly that gap is maybe a 1/16 of an inch, so it's not that bad. The only bad problem is I have seam sealer in there where we did it the first time. And then the plan is to basically be able to weld it to this seam here on the inside. So see if I can get y'all a closer look. There we go. So as you can see, this will push up and we'll go flat into that, and this will come in and roll straight down. And then we still have the inner fender on the inside. So yeah, we'll be able to make that work for sure. Like I said, if we have to, we'll do a little bit of dolly work to get this to fit a little bit better. Again, this inner fender is a different inner fender, so it may have been rolled just slightly different. I'm not too worried about that. We'll definitely be able to make it work. We have a really nice fit up here in the front. And so what we'll do is we'll take and grind this lip here where we can weld it to that lip. And then we'll just have to fill in this side over here, this little corner, and around. Then we'll have body work around all that stuff. So again, I think I can take a little bit more off this to get that fitting just a little tighter, and we'll be good to go. All right. Off camera, I made this little filler piece. And what it's going to do is just come in and we'll weld it to the inner fender. And it'll fill in this hole. It'll take care of that hole there. And then this is going to weld to that. And then we can beat the inner fender around to the inside and weld all that stuff together and really get a good, nice fit out of that. So I've got this fitting the way I want it to. So I think what we'll do is we may just take and mark where I want this to go and go ahead and just weld this to this. That way we can metal finish it and all that stuff before we get it in there. Because once that's in there, these brake lines are really going to make it a real pain in the neck to make that work. So what we'll do is we'll just take this tape off here and I'll put a couple marks on it where I want it to stop. That way we can line it up, we'll tack it, and we'll check it, and then once we know that it fits, then we go back in and weld it. I may cut this off a little bit, back here. That way we're not trying to weld that little stuff because it's going to blow out anyway, and we'll be able to fill a little bit of a gap out anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, we're actually making pretty good progress on this. And then, like I said, if we have to, we can trim it. It looks like if this just lines up with that back corner, we'll be perfect, so I don't even need to mark it. So let me get set up where we can get that welded. All right, here's something that you guys haven't seen on the channel in a while, and it's something that I've never used. So I made this mini fab table last year. It's kind of a joke for a vise that Crawford got for me, and I've never actually used it. But right now, I think this would be a great time for me to take a chance and try it. So I've got it set up with just a little bit of a gap where I can actually tack it. Now I know I can't weld it across there because it's going to stick to it. This up here will get, it actually fills into the fender once I get it back in the truck. So that's going to be okay, the way that fender lays in there. We may have to trim this too to get everything to fit exactly the way we want it to. But we want that little bit of a gap in there so the weld has somewhere to go. So when we grind it out, it doesn't compromise the weld. So yeah, pretty cool. The first time I've actually used it. So let me try and get set up where we can tack this together. And then we'll go back and check it in the truck. All right, we'll let that cool off for just a second. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I've always wanted to use it, I just never used it. So I happened to think about it. I said, why not? Now these aren't bolted down. There's not really need for this. Tied together. See, the welds come through really good, so we'll be able to finish that out really well. Let's go see how it fits in the truck. Got the zoom on high. Zoom out just a little bit. Come around the other side of the jack. All right, so it looks like I'm going to take and notch this back just a little bit around that corner, which is perfectly fine. We have room for it to go back behind there and actually make this line up with the inner, where this welds up to that, a little bit better. It's just where that's bumped out, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I like it. I don't know what it looks like on camera, but it's definitely going to fill it in, and especially once this comes over and that falls down, this goes there. I'd actually really like to be able to weld this together and metal finish it too, but I don't know if I can. Yeah, I should be able to get all back in there together. We might do that. Once I get this fitting the way I want it to, we'll probably pull this over and actually tack this together, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, we'll make it work. The hood die. Turns out the battery died on my welding helmet, so I had to go to the local hardware store and get a new battery. See how it fits. Take these gloves off. Watch out I don't burn myself, because you know that's going to be hot. But it looks like it fits in there pretty dang good. We got that in there, which that'll close up when we push that back. We gotta get this top kind of cut in and beat in a little bit, and that'll help fill that in. But yeah, that's gonna work out really good. We'll see the bottom side. It still comes out right where we want it, fitting in there. So we'll have this ledge here we can weld it to and tie that together and flush it up there. So yeah, we actually beat that out just a little bit. So yeah, I'm happy with that for sure. That definitely looks better. What do y'all think? Comment down below. Turn that welder off, it's pretty loud. All right. All right, so we've got that. All right, so we've got that welded in. We've got it in place. We'll have a little bit of cleaning up to get that nice and tight and flush. And like I said, I'm pretty sure we have to do a little bit of body work around this stuff because I'm not a great metal guy. But that definitely looks better than it did before. And I really like the way that goes into that. That cleans up the gap we had going down the side there. So now we just weld that to the firewall and that'll be done. So then again, we just got to cut the hole here for the grommet to pass through. The wires come up, then go through the hole and into the plug. So, and we got all sorts of extra wire here. Like, I don't know why they have so much. We need about half that. So, and I might even shorten them too. Jason Kenzer said he'd come over and help me do a wire tuck on this truck. And by doing that, basically getting these wires over here to do the same thing, because we're eventually going to do the same thing on this side that we did over here to close that off and make it look better. So it just doesn't really show up very well. But yeah, I'm happy with that. That looks killer. So we're still watching Garage Fab. I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he's still working on his upper control arms again. So just have random videos playing in the background while I'm out here working. Keep me motivated, keep me going. I want to say thank you to a few different channels real quick. One is Virginia's for Lowriders. You know, he's always obviously the one that helped get me into this. The second one is Lower Class Fab, Brandon Carter. He had commented on one of my first videos and shared me on one of his videos last year when he was giving out some new channels and stuff they're going. So I do appreciate that because that got me several subscribers back then. I want to make sure and thank Lance at Garage Time with LT. He helped me get over 1,000 by sharing me on his channel and his page. So I do appreciate that. Also, Ryan at Basic Bagworks. He's getting really close to 1,000 subscribers. I think he's right at about 900. So make sure and go check his page out. Check all their pages out. Honestly, it's all good mini truck content. That's what we want. You know, see everybody doing these little mini trucks and stuff. So try and support your local mini truck people. People. I can't even talk. People. But anyway, we're making progress. We're getting there. I'm gonna leave that side like that for now. Try and get the driver's side maybe caught up a little bit because we are quite a bit behind on it. I'm gonna go ahead and make that upper piece and get it kind of knocked around in place. It's gonna be a little bit different because of the brake booster getting around. Let me turn this around. Getting around this corner. I've still got to decide how I want to get around this. I just roughly notched that, even though it's welded in. I'm going to find a way to get that cut out a little bit better. We need to be able to pull the brake booster if we ever need to be able to get it out, which that could be a future Sean problem too. I don't see the booster going bad anytime soon. If it does, we'll deal with it when it does. But I want to do the same thing. I want to get that piece beat around and ready to go on here. This harness is going to be the problem because I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, Ken's just talking about coming over and help me extend it so we can put it on the inside of the fender and run around and come back out through this hole down here and then have it all tucked underneath the radiator support where you won't really see it. but I don't want to cut a harness and have to do that. But I've got an extra harness in a box buried back over there that we could use. And like I told Jason, you know, you cut one long, cut one short, that leaves you plenty of extra wire where you can splice it together, where all the splices are in the same place, so you can tie it together, then basically put it on the inside of the fender, between the fender and the inner fender, the outer fender. So that may be something we do. Oh, I suppose we're at Jason's house. I just remembered I was supposed to go to Jason's house tonight. I better call him, let him know. Kenzer, I'm sorry. I just remembered, dude. It's like, I didn't have my phone on me, or watch on me, but it's about 5:30. Sorry, bud. I'm gonna give you a call right now. Sorry. All right, I just got off the phone with Jason. He forgot all about tonight too, so we're okay, we're good. Instead, he's gonna come here tomorrow and help me figure out this driver's side front end. So the issue being is this wiring harness needs to go away. We need this wiring harness to run somewhere else. In order to do that, we're gonna do what they call a wire tuck, and basically get the wire to tuck on the other side between the fender and the inner fender. And to do that, we're gonna need to cut the wiring harness in half and extend it where we can go out the sidewall like we're talking about on the other side, because the other side is very, very similar to this. So we can basically cut a hole here, come up, and then follow the side, and then go back in this hole here and keep everything else where it's at. I'm not worried about doing a wire tuck. This isn't that truck. Again, this is a daily driver-ish vehicle. So we're just trying to make it as nice as we can for a somewhat daily driver. So I can't really do anything with this driver side until I get this figured out. I can go ahead and get the piece beaten and made. Go ahead and do the sheet metal work. Get that piece beaten and made. Get it kind of to the size you want. Maybe get this inner lip done. So I'll work on doing that. I'm probably gonna do that off camera for a little bit. I think we're getting kind of long on the video again already, and we still got to do the giveaway at the end. Thank you guys very much. We have hit 1,100 as of about 10 minutes ago. I checked my YouTube studio, 1,100 subscribers. It's crazy. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Can't wait to see who wins the subwoofer too. Get that thing shipped out of here. Get it out of my way and get somebody enjoying it. You know, that's what it's for. It's been sitting in my garage now for probably 4 months. It's been sitting here for a while, but brand new in the box, never been opened, never been used, all that good stuff. Again, YouTube and Skar Audio have nothing to do with this giveaway. This is solely on me. I bought it. I'm going to give it away. So can't wait to see who wins it. Well, also, we got the keychains. I've got them sitting out here. Thank you, Jason Caudill, for making those. They are really cool. And we are definitely going to work with him to get more of those to give away in the future. So Yep. Anyway, I'm gonna work on getting this driver side kind of caught up. If I run anything kind of cool or trivial, I'll bring you guys back. But for right now, I'm gonna get some work done. Let you guys take a break. We'll catch you in a minute. We're working on the front here, and I'm trying to figure out how this needs to fit in there, so I can get this little duck around the brake booster figured out. So I took a marker and traced it with my hand. We're gonna try and get it close, see how close we can get it to fitting. Then once we get this kind of figured out, we can box around this part of it, just so it's keeps water from splashing back behind there and getting into it from rain and stuff. So we're just trying to protect that as much as we can. So I did the same thing. I just took and beat this around that buck that I made. Yeah, we're making some pretty cool stuff. You don't have to have expensive stuff, I guess. You just have to have a little bit of ingenuity. And also, I picked up like 5 different wiring harnesses that I had in a box from trucks I've taken apart in the past. Unfortunately, I think they're all newer harnesses than what's in this truck. All the wiring on the driver's side seems different than what I have, so it may or may not work, but we'll let Jason look at it, kind of see what he thinks. If we need to, we can cut one in half. I'm not ever going to use a couple of these harnesses because they're out of trucks I tore apart years ago, so we may just have to cut one and check it against the one that I have and kind of go from there. I'm not too worried about it. But anyway, we're going to get this cut off, get it fitting into that other side, I said before, until we get this cut out, I can't put this piece in. So I've started getting this piece ready to go in there. And then, let me set the camera up here. And then the plan is, once we get this cut, to get, look at that fit. Get that in there to go around the brake booster, and then we can weld this together and get it tied into the other part. So we're slowly figuring it out. But like I said, until we get that wiring harness out of the way, we're not gonna be able to really do a whole lot. But if I can at least get this part of it together, where we know it works, we'll be in good shape. So we'll figure it out. Let me get this cut out real quick and then we'll come back. All right, everybody. It is Thursday night at 10 o'clock. It is giveaway time. So we're going to go ahead and end this week's video right here and get into the giveaway part. But before we do that, I also want to show that question that was posed and talk about that. Because wait, I have a question. With a real job, as you said, how are you able to manage doing fab work and stuff on these trucks, family time and your job? I'm trying to build my car and it's hard for me to juggle everything. And that's from Miata Cars 1146. All right. The best thing I can tell you is it just takes time. You got to make time to do stuff, but also don't stress yourself out about it. Having a YouTube channel makes it where I really need to focus on getting something done every week. But most times it's only like maybe 1 or 2 days during the week and only a couple hours at a time when I have time to do it. Family definitely comes first. They're the most important part. So, if I have family stuff to do, I'm definitely going to take care of my family first. This truck stuff can wait. The YouTube channel can wait. There's been a few times in this last year where I've had to kind of, put a video off because we had family stuff going on. So don't beat yourself up, man. Being a good family man is a lot more important than any vehicle you'll ever build. Keep your family happy and all that stuff is more important than any work you'll ever get done. So family first, always. And kind of on that note, one of the reasons I didn't get a lot done this week, besides what we did get done, Dakota and Heather Arender have a son named Jace. He just got into the custom truck scene. He just got his driver's license. And so this week we've been building him a speaker box. And so right now we just got the box kind of roughed in, tagged together. The shop is an absolute destroyed mess. But they're really good friends of mine. He's a young kid wanting to get into the hobby, to modified trucks and audio and stuff like that. And so I told him, I said, if you're willing to come to the shop and help me work on it, I don't want to charge you anything. I want to help you learn how to do this. That way in the future, if you decide that you want to do it, you have some sort of idea of what you need to do. Now, the way that I do things is not necessarily the correct way, but it's just the way that I do things. And the fact that I could help him learn a little bit is worth it a lot to me, because in the future, he'll be more likely to stay interested because somebody showed him interest in teaching him how to do stuff. So Jace, I'm glad you came out. I'm having fun working with you. I think we're going to try Saturday for him to come over. We have a few ideas of what we want to do to finish it up. But again, you just got to make time to make it happen. Thank you for the question. I do appreciate it. And please ask more. I would like to do more stuff like this where I can talk to subscribers on the channel, stuff like that. So if you have any questions, drop them down below in this video, next video, whatever. I'd be happy to talk with you about it. So, and I appreciate the interaction with you guys. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me get my camera set up so what I want to do is record from this camera and screen capture on my regular phone. That way there's no questions about what I'm doing with the giveaway. There's no questions on, how it was set up and all that. So let me get set up and we'll do the giveaway. All right, guys, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get into the giveaway. Before we do get into the giveaway, I want to make sure and say thank you to all the new subscribers. We gained over 100 subscribers in just the last week alone. That's absolutely blowing my mind. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I know the giveaway has a lot to do with that, but still, I got a lot of really good positive comments, and man, that makes me feel good. Thank you guys so much for all the positivity, for all the help and encouragement to keep me going, keep me motivated. And hopefully we get to do this again really soon. Again, when we get to 2,000, we'll find something really cool to give away again. And just kind of every 1,000 we'll try and do that. So hopefully if you guys keep blowing me up, we'll keep giving stuff away. So Thank you guys very much. Thank you to all my previous subscribers, from Crawford being the #1 subscriber, the first one, to everybody else. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do really appreciate it. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get on this phone and we will start screen recording. That way we have proof of what we're doing to be as completely transparent as possible. So what we'll want to do, got it counting down. We'll go to my YouTube channel. We'll go to my videos. We'll go to that video. Click share. Copy link. Then we will go to the comment generator. From there, we will go into the link. We'll post the link. And I had an issue with this earlier in the week. I kept clicking the wrong video, and I was having an issue with it. So hopefully we got that straightened out now. All right. So then we'll fetch. We'll take out replies. We won't allow duplicates. And continue. All right, so we have 74 comments that will be eligible to be a winner. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick 5 winners through the comments. And in those orders of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first person picked will be the first one eligible to win the subwoofer. If they're not a subscriber, it goes down to the next person, so on and so forth until we hit a subscriber. All 5 of these people will get a keychain, a bottle opener, and one person, the first subscriber, will win the subwoofer. So good luck to you guys. I can't wait to see who wins. So the first winner is Krager Chop Shop. You see that? So congratulations, you're winner #1. Number 2, Mike McCowan's 6957. Number 2. Number 3, Ebersol 028 or 0828. Number 4 is Wicked Low. And number 5, the 5th and final winner, Ron Reiser 310. So I need to go through and make sure they all commented as Kentucky Mini Truck. I didn't look at that. I saw 3 of them did, but I didn't check the other 2. But we'll look at that here in just a second. But congratulations, guys. Thank you for entering the contest. We're definitely going to be doing this again very soon, especially with the way that you guys have been blowing up the channel and stuff like that. So thank you again. I need you guys to reach out to me either in the comments down below, and we'll find a way to get together. Also, you can contact me at woodenwaveracer@yahoo.com. Email be a good way to get a hold of me, and we'll figure out from there how we can verify who you are and get you the information that you need to get your stuff. So thank you guys very much. I do appreciate it. We'll make sure and catch you on the next one. Thank you. Go back and watch that video and make sure we have 5 winners. Yes, 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 and yes. Oh man, we do. We have 5 winners. That's awesome. I need to get this garage cleaned up, but wait. What are you doing? You're hiding in the corner? You didn't think I'd see you? The contest is over. We have a winner. You stick around and see if I can give something else away. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Maybe in the next one. I definitely want you to win something. But thanks for sticking around like always. I appreciate it. This garage is a mess. We'll get it cleaned up though. Thank you guys for sticking around. Catch you on the next one.